morning. You're Linton Arseno? And Mr. Arseno, are you currently sick?
Ma'am?
Are you sick right now?
No.
Would you pull that down for me just so, there you go, I can hear you better in the hearing. And Mr. Arseno, in cause number 24, DCCR 2190, was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to failure to comply with sex offender registration requirements. The agreement was for a cap of 10 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor. None from the defense. Reading this PSI report, it does appear that he has a lengthy criminal history. I would say the top part of that had a lot to do with him being homeless at the time. The criminal trespasses that were all dismissed, all those. It looks, to defense lawyer, to me, it looks worse than it. I've seen worse. Although he does have some extensive history. This case, the reason he has to report was from a case in 2023 that evidently he got the minimum 2 years, and I wasn't part of that case. He got the minimum on a. And I don't think he went to penitentiary. He stayed in county jail on that. That's my understanding, Judge. And I'm not making light.
On that case, he did, yes.
And in this case, Judge, I watched the video that he did go in and try to report. I don't think he went back the next year is what it was. I think he reported initially.
I brought everything in myself.
And I watched the interview, and it was confusing to me as to what he had to do, and I don't know. I think he probably just got frustrated and just didn't go the next year, and that's wrong, and that's what we're here before the court for. It's been capped, and I appreciate the prosecutor doing that. I would ask the court to sentencing towards the lower end, Judge. I don't think 10 years, 10 years is a long time for him not reporting for that. So Judge, I would ask that you consider, he doesn't want a trial, he doesn't want probation. He said that he was upfront with the court. Probation's not an option in his mind, and he's ready to do his time, whatever the court deems is fair.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hoffpower?
I want to direct the court to page 1 of the PSI, really it's page 2, but to the defendant's version, I don't believe that he's taking responsibility for it. He says, I think that's a hedge. That's not I did it, and he said he wasn't told somehow. He knew he had a report. He did, but he did initially, but then didn't. I'm not really sure what the court thinks of that. I know what I think of that is that it's a hedge, and that he thinks that he gets to decide whether he reports or he doesn't. I don't care how long he got initially. This is part of being a sex offender is reporting. We need to know where you're at, and if you aren't, then you're supervising yourself, and that's the problem. So the only reason things the state and it's up to the court. Obviously, I don't agree with the lower end. I agree we have to years that we will know where he's at for those 10 years. That's the only way we can be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffpower. So, Mr. Arseno, I noticed the same thing that Mr. Hoffpower did in your version when you talked to the probation officer. It says, I stopped going up there because when I went to court, the attorney told you were signing for 2 years, TDC. He didn't tell me anything about the registration part.
No,
You didn't say that?
no, ma'am. I did say that.
Okay, so when you were in court, I looked it up to make sure that we didn't miss something and that you weren't told about it. When you were in court with Mr. West, he went over with you the sex offender registration admonishment, and that's your signature right there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But he didn't explain nothing to me.
But you were told by him and by me that you had to register, and you obviously knew you had to register because you went and registered the first time. So saying you didn't know you had to register when you actually registered doesn't make much
I
sense.
went in front of Judge Stevenson. What is it?
No, you went and registered at the Beaumont Police Department. You went on July 20th of 2023 for your initial registration as a sex offender.
Yes, ma'am.
So you did know you have to register because you went and did it. You just didn't do it after that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty, and also, in addition to all of that, just so everybody's on the same page, This is your 8th felony offense. You have 7 prior felony offenses going back to 97, where you got a probation, got revoked, got 5 years in prison. You've been to state jail, looks like twice or 3 times. You went to prison again in 07, or actually that one ended up in 10 for 3 years. You went to 16 for 4 years for an ag assault with a deadly weapon, and then you went for 2 years on that sexual assault case. So I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of failure to comply with sex offender registration requirement. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 8 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Correction in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. LeBlanc. All right, good luck to you, sir. You can go back with the bailiff.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Reagan Benwa?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Lewis, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment in each case?
He does, Judge.
Mr. Benwa, in cause number 25 DCCR 0880, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of attempt to take a weapon from an officer from June 1st of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with?
Yes, ma'am.
And then in cause number 25 DCCR 0881, you're charged with, let's see, are we going on the count 1 only in that case?
Is that the one within 6 months time?
6 months.
This is the TDC.
This is the 2 TDC.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, Judge, we'll abandon that.
Okay, let me pull this up.
So within 600 attempted.
Yeah, 610, 2 So.
Okay. All right, so in 25 DCCR 0881, the state's elected to proceed on count 1 only. It alleges you committed the 3rd-degree felony offense of assault on a security officer from June 1st of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with? In each of these cases, I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Lewis? And do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreements that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, do you understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
I understand.
State tenders number 1 in each case.
No objection.
It's admitted in each case. Is there any evidence that Mr. Benwa is not competent?
No, Judge.
All right, sir, I'm going to find in each of your cases that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily, find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of those pleas. In cause number 25 DCCR 0880, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of attempt to take a weapon from an officer. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 6 months in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. And then in cause number 25 DCCR 0881, I'll find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of assault on a security officer. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 2 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will also receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm going to and these cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. I'm handing you in each of your cases the trial court certifications that shows that these were agreements that I followed, so you waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. And firearm is, I have to read the whole thing to you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Lewis. All right, good luck to you, sir. You go back with the bailiff.
Thanks, Judge.